few weeks ago, I had a video out about doing pre-production with the Andrew Chastain Band. Today, I thought I'd show you a little bit of recording with them in the studio and some of my recording process. I normally start out by setting up everything the day before so I can be a little more relaxed the next day. I also like everybody playing together at the same time, even if it's not their final take. I think it's important for a band to be playing together and relating to each other just like they do at gigs or at rehearsal.
It's always coming.
And even though the main focus at this point in the game is to get the rhythm section down, it's important that the singer give a great performance because, after all, that's the focus. That's what everybody's going to be vibing off of. I think we're probably doing about 7 or 8 takes per song. I'll typically push the band until they start sounding worse, and then I back up to the last good one, and that's the take right there. Here we go. Now, once I decide which take we're going to keep, I go back and address any little fixes that need to be done right then so that we stay in the zone. In this case, I brought Dave, the bass player, into the control room so that I could more clearly communicate with him on what I wanted to change. But also go ahead and get any guitar solos that the song needed. In this case, Caleb wanted to use a different guitar, so I went along with it, and that's one hell of a guitar solo. Second day of recording, and I thought before the band got here I'd go over some of the gear we're using and just set up and mics and stuff like that. We've got pedal steel, of course, set up. There's his pedal board there, although he's actually not using any of these except his tuner. He's just running through this power amp here, which is made for pedal steel. Caleb, the guitar player, this is his pedal board here. You know, using my distressors as usual, my ISA 110, a couple of Avalons. I think I'm only using 2 channels on my board for a couple room mics, I think. I've got of course, my germanium I'm using, my DBX 160, my APIs for my drums, kick and snare. I've got a couple of cappies. I'm using the overheads. I think I'm using this 1073 clone, which is amazing on the electric guitar. I'm actually running the bass through this. I've really grown to like this for electric bass DI. And then in here, that's where I'm micing the amp. He brought 2 amps, started out using this one, but decided somewhere along the line that this one sounded better, and I agreed. This thing's really amazing sounding. I've got a 57 in the front, and of course I went through 3 different 57s to find the one that I liked. And in the back, Sennheiser, I guess 409. This is a technique I like to use because with these kind of combo amps, it's like part of the tone is what comes out of the rear here. And if you're just not micing the back, you ain't gonna get that 3D sound. Now you gotta throw this rear mic out of phase. But I suggest you all try this sometimes. You got to move this mic around a little bit to get the tone right. But man, that's the tone, and you only need it up in the mix with the front mic a little bit to get something really special. We're running his guitar signal that distance by going through this radial box. There's one at this end and one at the other, and it just helps keep the impedance right so you don't lose any tone. And then in the drum room, I really like this room. I've got really high ceilings in here, and really helps out with the drum sound. So kick drum, I've got one of those AKG eggs. Yeah, there it is. Got that inside. I'm also micing it from out front with this. It's a Neumann M149. I really like that air on the kick drum. I've been getting away from a ton of mics on the drums. This is not a huge amount, but it's a lot less than I've done in the past. I've got a 57 on the snare, and I've got a 57 underneath, which is actually a little unusual for me because I've tended to use a condenser on the bottom, but lately I've been just trying this out just to see what it was like. Then, of course, I've got a 421 on this tom, a Sennheiser 421, and another 421 there. For overheads, I'm using Josephson, what are these? They're like, models of, like a Neumann, I think KM84. And I tend to like to get my overheads a little lower. These things are like, they pick up a lot. A lot of times I would have like a spot mic on the hi-hat or the ride, but these mics seem to pick them up without needing that. Up overhead, I've got an AKG 414 straight up over the kit. And what I do is I slam that into my Ghost console and redline it and kind of distort it. And then I've got another video where I talk about this, but I gate that off the snare drum, and man, I tell you what, it really does the job. And that's kind of it, man. I'm not really doing much more on the drums. The drums sound good, the room sounds good. Nothing fancy, man. Just good instruments, good players, and good songs, and it's all we need.
Andrew Chastain, Kev,
Dave.
That's the wall.
I'd wanted to do an interview with the band to find out about their history and about their music and all that, but I thought I'd try something different. I thought I'd leave the camera running and just leave the room, and maybe they'd feel more relaxed and natural, but it's not really what happened. It ended up being this funny thing where they just kind of talked about...
Oh, Billy.
And they hardly ever talked about themselves.
We didn't really talk about ourselves.
We didn't talk about ourselves.
Right.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
We're supposed to just talk regular stuff. We met Billy for the first time probably, was it 2 or 3 years ago? Probably, it's 2018. Yeah, I wrote with him in Pistol.
Right.
Or I came down and, we had a writing session. I knew then that I wanted to work with him, and I was excited for you guys to meet him, and we have a lot of personal phone calls and just about not even music or about music, but about life and about, what's going on in our life spiritually, emotionally, musically, professionally. And, he cares, he genuinely cares and offers advice, honest, open advice. And that's exactly what he does with the band. And, and that's kind of a representation of us. That's kind of how we are. We're a band, but we're not like hired guns that are just trying to make it or on a set goal. We're friends, we're brothers, and we make music together. And, we have a common goal of making better music together. And Billy just complements that and makes that more of a possibility.
My grandfather's steel guitars over there, and that's what I played on this set.
Yeah. Our
on this
grandfathers.
session. That's my brother over there.
Wait.
Figure that out.
Do you think that your grandpa ever imagined that his steel would be being played?
I think he hoped it wouldn't.
Specifically here on the kind of music?
I don't know what he expected, really.
Yeah.
I think he's happy that I'm playing it.
Yeah.
He always said it takes at least 3 years before you'll be able to play a show with one. So...
How long did it take you?
Maybe like 3 weeks or something.
I think that...
I think he probably would have got a kick out of seeing it at open for Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah. I'm sure he would be proud about how you're playing it now.
Yeah.
If you want to plug this in there, Billy, AndrewChastain.com. You can find us on iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Play, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and some random Russian websites that are selling our music for free. But edit out the last part. Selling it for free? Well, yes. Because the only thing that you have to pay is your time to get onto those Russian websites and the time that it takes to learn the Russian language so you can navigate the website and read our song list. That's the payment. Oh.
I usually wait a few days to come back to lead vocals because singing the same song over and over again, and we did 3 of them on this batch, can really wear out a singer's voice. We moved up to Moonshade Hollow, my home studio, to get those done and some additional acoustic guitar as well. Well, that's about where I'm at right now. There's more to come because I got more songs to record with them. I'll give you an update as we move along. Thanks for watching.